Hi all, we're just going to give it a few more minutes as board members join.
Good evening.
Hello. I'm just texting a few board members. We have both you and Chairperson Hagenho on the call. I'm going to text the rest.
Good.
Okay, we do have 3 members of the Teaching and Learning Committee. Mr. Tatum just joined and Mr. Wilson hopefully would join.
Okay, great. So we can get started.
Oh, there you go. Gotcha.
So I apologize for my camera being off. So can you please, well, first, let me just start it off. Are we ready? Are we live? We
Yes.
should be live, right?
They're live, yes.
Okay, great. Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Hartford Board of Education Teaching and Learning Committee meeting. My name is Francoise Darcel Ledger, and I am Vice Chair of the Hartford Board of Education, and I am Chair of this committee. Today is November 26, 2024, and we are commencing. So I'd like to popcorn it off to someone, and we're just gonna see who's on the call, who's on the Zoom, and just state your name and your role and popcorn it off to someone. So I will popcorn it off to Daisy Torres Hill.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Daisy Torres Hill. I am the Assistant Superintendent for Teaching and Learning, and I will popcorn it off to Marjorie Rice.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Nice to be here with you all. My name is Marjorie Rice, and I am the principal of McDonough Middle School, and I will popcorn it to Ms. Elvis Minga.
Good afternoon, everyone. Elvis Minga, 2 months in as a principal of Hartford Public High School. Great to be with you tonight. I forgot to popcorn it. See, I'm already feeling it. To Ms. Cuevas.
Good evening, all. Liliana Cuevas, Executive Director of Post-Secondary and Alternative Education. And I will popcorn to Amy Topper.
Hi, I'm Amy Tepper. I am a co-owner with Patrick Tepper and Flynn. I'm an educational consultant, and I will popcorn it to Corinne Barney.
Thanks. I am Corinne Barney. I am the Chief of Schools. I'm glad to be here, and I will send it to Patrick.
Hi, everyone. Patrick Flynn with Tepper and Flynn. Nice to be here. I will popcorn it off to Christina Santiago.
No, I am Christina
you.
Santiago. Oh.
Yep.
Oh, I thought it was on mute. I thought I was on mute as always. Christina Santiago, board liaison, and I will popcorn it off to Mark Showman.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mark Showman, Assistant Principal at Kennelly School, and I'm going to popcorn off to Dr. Radley. Good evening, everyone. Connie Ratley, Deputy Superintendent for our Schools and Academic Excellence. I'll popcorn it off to Tracy.
Thanks, Dr. Ratley. Hi, everybody. My name is Tracy Abacoli. I'm the Director of Secondary Teaching and Learning. I will send it over to Jen Hoffman.
See, Jen's on the line, but I will go. I'm Jen Hockenhall. I assumed it was me. I am the chair of the Board of Education, and I will send it to Stephen Tatum.
Hi, everybody. I will say hello on camera. I'm in a restaurant on the road, so you have my full attention. But environment is distracting. So yeah, I'm Stephen Tatum. I'm Harvard Board of Education, and most of us have gone, but I'll pass it over to Stephen Wilson.
I'm going to assume he said Stephen Wilson. Hi, everyone. I'm Stephen Wilson, board member, and I will popcorn it off to whoever's left, because I think I'm second to last here. No one? Is everybody gone? Okay, I'm the last. Francois, it's on you.
Thank you so much. And it's always nice to do the popcorn thing because it's nice to see faces, even though you can't see mine. But it's nice to see, who's on the Zoom, what your role is, and it's just nice. That's an opportunity for everyone to say something. So having said that, Christina, can you please post the agenda? Thank you so much. So our first agenda item is contract continuation approval, Tepper and Flynn. So I don't know if Tepper or Flynn is going to talk about this.
Thank you. I will actually, this is Dr. Ratley speaking. I'll actually give just a brief introduction before passing it off to Chief Barney, who will share not only the presentation, but give some insight into this request for contract renewal. She will be speaking on behalf of and alongside members of the McDonough Middle School team, as well as Hartford Public High School, both of which are a part of the Commissioners Network, which is a state turnaround program. Chief Barney, I will now turn it over to you.
Thank you. All right, so the two schools that are looking for the contract continuation tonight are, as Dr. Ratley said, Hartford Public High School and McDonough Middle School, who have utilized Tepper and Flynn over the course of their Commissioners Network grants. Next slide. And so as you can see, it's a multi-year state grant. This year, Hartford Public High School is looking at $90,000 and McDonough Middle School is looking at $115,500 to give us $205,500 for the total contracted services for the continuation of the grant this school year. Next slide, please. And the utilization of Tepper and Flynn supports equitable access to high quality learning experiences connected to our district strategies for improvement in student achievement. Next slide. And as you can see, the focus and the mission and vision of Tepper and Flynn is to increase the administrator's ability to recognize the impact they have on others through personalized learning plans. They empower the learners to shift their practice. They help administrators lead the learning, and they align to the school goals. So our PSEAs are aligned to this work. Some of the services that they provide to both schools is leveraging of observation and feedback, creating a culture of learning and leadership. They support new leaders, and they understand effective teaching and learning practices. And then on the end, you can see the various forms of assessment that we utilize to determine effectiveness of the supports. Next slide. So continuation of the grant will focus on this year, the observation and feedback of practice connected to continuous improvement cycles. They're going to support targeted formative observations at least twice a month, but at a frequency connected to the school goals. They're going to focus on core actions connected to teacher needs and goals. They support both Hartford High and McDonough with professional learning communities, data teams, their instructional leadership team, and during that time, they utilize an analysis of student work to determine academic performance, what behavioral supports or social emotional well-being needs to be implemented in alignment with their school goals in order to improve student performance. They also look at how educators impact the whole child and provide strategies for teachers to utilize within their classroom connected to professional learning in order to support the whole child. They are working on assessment practices to ensure staff understanding of leading and lagging indicators of success. They will triangulate department grade level school data in order to do a student performance review, and they utilize that during school-based data teams as well as the instructional leadership team. And they are also in alignment with the newly revised educator evaluation model, and especially focused on the goal setting process, again, in connection with our PSEA, our Plan for School Excellence and Accountability. Next slide. So in closing, they've successfully collaborated with over 80 different school districts, over 2,500 different leaders. They've supported McDonough with a 4% increase in ELA growth on SBAC. They have helped Hartford High increase their graduation rate, and McDonough and Hartford High both reduced their chronic absentee rates last year by over 4%. And so at this time, I'll open it up to any questions.
Thank you so much for the presentation. And I am looking to see if I have any hands up. And I see Board Member Tatum, his hand is up. Board Member Tatum, you have the floor for your question.
Thank you very much. I have a question about Commissioner's Network grants. Could you just say a little bit more about that funding source? I think you said that it's a state grant, and that it's over the course of a few years. Could you just give some more context for that
I'm
funding?
sorry, Board Member Tatum. I don't mean to interrupt, but there's a lot of background noise. Can you either perhaps go to a quieter area or perhaps type in your question?
My apologies. I'll type in my question.
Ms. Barney, were you able to capture any of that? I know he was asking about the Commissioners Network grant, and I think expand more on that while he. Oh wait, there it is. Oh no, he's typing it now.
Okay. And while we're waiting, I don't see anyone else's hand up with a question.
I could start because I think he was asking about the state funding. Oh,
okay.
Funding source length of grant. Yes. So yes, the funding source is a grant through the state of Connecticut for students, excuse me, it's been a long day, for schools that were identified as turnaround. And I believe this is the final year of funding for Hartford High, as well as McDonough. It was a multi-year grant. I think Principal Rice or Principal Minga can jump in with the exact end date of their grants. But I know they have utilized Tepper and Flynn services over the course of 2 years, this being the third.
Yeah, this is the final year that we have the CN is our 5th year with the Commission Network for turnaround school. So this will be the 5th year and the last year that we're part of it.
So this is our third year, and then there's an opportunity to potentially remain in for 2 more years.
I think it would be important, this is Patrick Flynn, I think it would be important to note as well that the high school is in an extension year. They were actually offered another year of services just based on the success rate that they were experiencing. So they were able to extend the grant.
Correct. So I actually had my Commissioners Network walkthrough yesterday with the state, and we discussed about the possibility of extending it. It is a application process, and there's a lot to consider when schools are reapplying to remain under the CN. But that's an opportunity. And I was told that given the success and the growth that school had demonstrated, that they do consider schools that show growth to be determined to continue under the CN.
Yes, and we actually had a learning walk at McDonough yesterday morning as well, where we discussed the exact same thing that Principal Minga just outlined. And one thing, like I do see a question about impact. One thing, I have a bunch of data points here, but in terms of beyond what Chief Barney already lifted for us, our instructional leadership from our baseline year, where we had went through an audit system and planning year, our school was scored as a level 2 in instructional leadership on a rubric of 1 through 4. And now last year, we were up to already a 3 in the end of the second year. So that was an important data point I really wanted to lift for you.
And another data point that I can lift actually was about leadership effectiveness. And one of the goals with Temper Flynn is to support the administration. And so we started with, in the first year, an audit under 2, and then last year actually we're at level 4. So which is a great growth.
Great. Thank you so much, Member Tatum. I believe that's all that he has for questions. And thank you for the presentation. So
Thank you.
Okay. And Christina, and you're more than welcome to stay on, or you feel free to drop off. Have a happy Thanksgiving, happy holiday. And we are going to move on to our next agenda item, which is acceptance of funds for Kennelly School, and who will be presenting for that.
So once again, Chief Barney will shed insight. This is, as mentioned by Board Member Derstel Ledger, and acceptance of funds request based on a school receiving a grant, Kennelly School receiving a grant that they individually sought out. And so Chief Barney, I will turn it over to you.
Thanks, Dr. Ratley. So yes, Kennelly is one of our fabulous neighborhood schools, and they found out about a NEAG Foundation grant that became available. And so they jumped on the grant application process and recently just found out that they were awarded $95,000 to support their work. So next slide. Just highlighting that the grant is the grant was written to connect to student connectedness to school, based off of school climate survey results and community stakeholder engagement, where additional activities outside of school hours were requested by families, students, and community partners. Next slide. And so the purpose of the grant would be to, as I was saying, extend the experiences beyond the classroom and connect learning to enrichment opportunities. So the program that the grant was written for would support Kennelly staff running enrichment programming after school hours. Students and families, as I said, expressed need for opportunities to feel connected to their interests, but also continued connections to the school and their friends beyond the classroom. The program would run now through December 2025, And with this funding and the enrichment programming, they continue to hope to increase student attendance through their connectedness to the school and the community, increase students feeling connected to a caring adult who will miss them when they're not there, as well as supporting students with their academic and social emotional skills beyond the classroom. Next slide. So this is just some of the programming that the teachers will be offering at Kennelly School. You can see they're offering everything from mini golf to board games to soccer, hiking club, gaming, Busy Bees community service. So they're all ideas that the staff has selected, the staff has developed, and then they will participate after school hours to support their students, and the students will self-select the activities that they are interested in. They will also have academic enrichment for 6th grade and 8th grade, and a Saturday academy connected to social emotional skills, mindset, and how that affects the whole child. Next slide. And just overall, what Kennelly is looking to do with this grant. Currently, right now, we don't have any students that are attending any enrichment opportunities outside of school. By the end of the grant, they're hoping to have over 150 students participating in enrichment activities. They're also hoping that through the school climate survey, the students, and with the implementation of the programming, students will feel more connected to their friends and a stronger sense of belonging to the beehive, as Kennelly likes to be referred to. They also are really hoping, again, connected to the culture and climate survey, that families feel like they're valued members of the community and that their voices are heard, since that this was something that they really lifted in last year's administration of the survey. And they're also hoping to increase student attendance for students who attend the enrichment programming on a consistent basis. And then I believe we have questions here as well. And I do have the assistant principal, Mr. Schulman, on the call as well.
Thank you so much for that presentation. That's very exciting. One of the questions, I'm going to ask a question and then I'll pass it off to any board members or anyone who has a question. So one question that I have is, will these hours for the enrichment be before school, after school? I do see that there's a Saturday component, and with the Saturday component, what will be offered on Saturday?
Yeah, thank you. So the during the week, we'll be offering Tuesday, Thursday after school, 3:30 to 5 p.m. Saturday with the Saturday Growth Mindset Academy is going to have a variety of things. One is, of course, the academic programming of it. So we offer grades 6 through 8 for Saturday Growth Mindset Academy. And what we do is a social worker, the school counselor, and myself, we look at the grades, the kiddos' grades every 2 weeks. And in those grades, we look for students who might have 2 Fs or more, and sometimes 1 F or more. And we make phone calls to families, and we offer the Saturday Growth Mindset Academy. We also, on Saturdays, also might have a special ed teacher there, and we might have an ML teacher there for kids that maybe just need a quiet place to work and get some extra help. We also offer the social worker may come in on Saturday for some social emotional learning too. And Saturdays hours are 8 a.m. to 12.
Great. Thank you so much. I had a hard time unmuting. Thank you so much for that explanation. Another question I have is with regards to these different enrichment programs that are going to be offered, are you going to have individuals like community organizations or people from the community, and who exactly will be providing these services?
Yeah, so right now, and we modeled this after our SIG grant that we've had the last 2 years, which has been very successful. And we have staff members that are interested. So it could be certified, it could be non-certified staff members that want to offer a club. We also do a survey to the students to see what they would be interested in for club having. We usually run a 1-to-10 ratio for staff member to students. Some of the clubs, like Girl Scouts, in the past we've had 30 kids. Volleyball, we've had 30 kids. STEM Lego, we've had 30 kids. So we find out, again, what the kids' interests are, and we connect them to a staff member. If the kids want to start a club that's not on here, then they can let us know what club. They can get a group together, 10 kids or more, and then we find a staff member. Some of the clubs on here, like some of the dancing, the hip hop, contemporary dance, was students asking us for those clubs.
Great, thank you so much. And I'm looking to see if there is a hand raised. I do not see a hand raised. I'm looking in the chat. Okay, let's see. Board Member Tatum said just a comment. This will be a great case study for the effect of enrichment programming on student belonging and climate and culture. Thank you so much. And so I believe that we are all set with that. Thank you so much.
Sorry, Mr. Wilson just raised his hand, just so you.
Oh, he did. Okay, I apologize. I didn't see that. Okay, Board Member Wilson, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I put it up late. I may have missed this part. With these programs, is there a grade requirement that comes with being able to participate?
Yeah, great question. So some of the clubs, like Girl Scouts, we had Daisies and Brownies. So that would be, of course, the younger girls, the kindergarten, first grade, second grade. And a lot of the clubs some are 3 through 5. Some of the after school sports that we don't have, like 6 through 8, we already have, but the kids wanted soccer, volleyball for grades 3 through 5, 3 through 6. And then again, some of them can be 3 through 8. So it's depending on what we're offering for the program and what the teacher, and then again, how many kids are interested. So again, a variety for all grades.
Thank you.
And I believe that is it. So thank you so much for that presentation. And once again, feel free to stay on the Zoom. Otherwise, feel free to drop off and have a wonderful Thanksgiving, happy holidays, if you choose to drop off. And Christina, can we please have, okay, we have the next agenda item, which will be high school and post-secondary success. And who will be presenting for that?
Thank you, Board Member Darrell Ledger. On high school and post-secondary success, we have a team here that actually represents 2 departments, which is a perfect example of how our departments must work interconnectedly. That being our Teaching and Learning Department, led by Assistant Superintendent Daisy Torres-Hill, and our Student Services Department, led by Assistant Superintendent Jen Hoffman. At this point in time, I will go ahead and turn it over to Daisy Torres-Hill to kick off the presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Ratley, and good evening, everyone. Christina, you can go to the next slide. Thank you. Today's presentation will provide an overview of high school and post-secondary experiences for our students. Our work is grounded in our district priorities and systemic practices, particularly in our students' high-quality learning experiences and student connectedness to school. Next slide, please. Thank you. Our agenda today will highlight the cross-department work happening across our high schools, post-secondary success, and career pathways. Tracy Avicoli, Director of Secondary, will provide an overview of high school graduation requirements and on-track progress monitoring indicators. Liliana Cuevas, Executive Director of Post-Secondary and Alternative Programming, will share the work around student supports and advanced coursework. Suzanne Palmieri, our Director of Strategic Initiatives and Pathways, could not be here this evening, but I will be sharing a little bit about our wonderful work and career development opportunities, particularly around our pathways. And then we will wrap up with our next steps in our work. At this time, I'll turn it over to Tracy to get us started.
Thank you, Daisy. Good evening, everyone. So what you're looking at here are our graduation requirements for our class of 2023 and beyond. The state of Connecticut puts forth the requirements for high school graduation, of which we in Hartford Public Schools have adopted as well. Here you can see that students in Hartford Public Schools are required to obtain a minimum of 25 credits or Carnegie units in order to graduate. Within these 25 credits are specific allocations by subject area. Given the goal of increasing access to college and career opportunities for students within the high school experience, particularly over recent years, the state allows for increased flexibilities in the way districts award credits within these subject area buckets, as you can see here. You will also receive additional information on this graduation planning at the upcoming policy committee meeting. Next slide. Looking ahead, our graduation requirements for the class of 2027 and beyond, state legislation will require that all students complete a half credit in financial literacy as either a humanities credit or an elective credit, and therefore making the capstone requirement optional for districts. We will be able to make some decisions on this moving forward, and as this will either increase or decrease, not decrease, but will increase the amount of elective credits that a student can access. No matter the adjustment, the required credits for graduation will remain the same at 25. Next slide. Next, I'll be speaking to on-track status for graduation. Next slide. So a significant aspect of the high school experience is ensuring that students are on track to graduate in 4 years. In Hartford Public Schools and in the state of Connecticut, this is also considered an important component to monitor. Here in the chart, you will see 2 definitions for a student to be considered on track. One by the state, which gives the total number of credits that a student must earn to be promoted to the next grade. And then there is our HPS definition, which specifies courses that must be passed. So for instance, in grade 9, the state considers a freshman to be on track to graduate and to be promoted to the next grade if they have passed at least 6 classes during grade 9. However, for us in Hartford Public Schools, we require that at least 2 of those are in math and English. So you will see how those are also defined in grade 10, 11, and 12. So each one adding 6 credits and then specific courses being monitored there. Next slide. All of our high schools enact various systems to ensure we monitor the status of students being on track for high school graduation. These systems allow our school teams to look specifically at student data that is relative to their rate of attendance, their status in passing required courses, and behavioral data. This allows our schools to identify any barriers that might prevent students from attaining a status of on track and determine appropriate supportive interventions to get them back on track as soon as possible. Next slide. Student support. So actually, Daisy, I'm taking this one as well. Next slide. So these are some of the examples of systems of support that are offered in our high schools. Our high schools offer academic and social emotional supports to ensure that our students continue to remain on track for graduation, or they can get back on track as quickly as possible. Academically, students are able to enroll in supportive courses taken concurrently with either ELA or math courses, in which certified teachers provide a more targeted and differentiated approach. Additionally, if we notice that a student is at risk of becoming off track, our schools are able to provide additional tutoring, options for credit recovery, or alternative programming if that is the best fit for the student. Also, to ensure practice, exposure, and comfort for students who are taking the PSAT or SAT, we offer an SAT prep course and have expanded the utilization of Khan Academy to all of our high school math and ELA courses this year, so students and teachers have access to that content. In order to support students in building deeper connection to school, we also have measures in place in our high schools. The Freshman Seminar course is part of our Freshman Academy experience at our 3 comprehensive high schools. Freshman Seminar reinforces strong academic behaviors, learning strategies, social skills, and planning for college and career. Our school counselors and our social workers are also integral to the Freshman Academy experience, and all students have access to school counseling and social work services. In addition, high schools have attendance teams and staff who are dedicated to working with students and families to reduce attendance barriers. Lastly, we're working to strengthen family connections this year, particularly in academics. And one example is Buckley's On Track conferences, which they invite and involve families and community-based organizations to obtain a deeper understanding of what it takes to be on track to graduate high school. Those are mine. Passing it off to Liliana for our advanced coursework.
Good evening, board members, and thank you, Tracy. So tonight I will be sharing some of the dual enrollment programs and how they can enhance the academic pathways for our students in the district. The academic benefits for some of the academic benefits for our students is that they can earn with the dual enrollment programs, they can earn college credit while they're in high school. It also supports and helps develop the critical thinking, problem solving, and research skills essential for college and future career. It also provides a competitive edge and facilitates a smoother transition to higher education. By participating our students in dual enrollment, it can also help boost their GPA and make a positive impression on college admissions officers. Some of the financial benefits, it allows our students to save money on tuition by taking courses for free while in high school. It can help reduce student loan debt and lead to graduating with less financial burdens. Some of the dual enrollment at a personal level, it can help our students build self-confidence and motivations as students challenge themselves with college level work. And of course, there's a lot of research that shows that students who participate in dual enrollment are more likely to graduate from high school on time, earn college credits, attend college, and graduate with a degree or a certificate. Next slide, please. Here, I'm going to be sharing the dual enrollment opportunities for our students. So dual enrollment allows our high school students to take college courses and earn both high school and college credits simultaneously. To be eligible to participate, our students must typically need a minimum of a GPA of 3.0 and must be a junior or a senior in high school. Our courses are taught by college professors and can be taken at a college campus or online. Our school partners with, many of our high schools partner with the local community colleges, and they provide a wide range of courses options for our students. Some of these examples of the courses that our students take through our dual enrollment are college success, conversational Spanish, and English composition, and of course, many more. Next slide, please. This one is about our concurrent enrollment. Similar to our dual enrollment, concurrent enrollment allows our students to take college courses while they're still enrolled in high school. These courses are taught by our certified staff in our high schools. There's also an eligibility criteria that our students must meet. There's, certain GPAs, sometimes between 2.5 and a 3.0 requirements. And of course, being in the appropriate grade level. Courses are taught by our high school teachers. Some of our sample courses that are most popular with our concurrent enrollments include biology, U.S. history, chemistry, and introduction to sociology. Next slide, please. In this slide, I will be covering our early college experience opportunities for our students through the UConn Early program that allows our high school students to take UConn courses at their high schools for both high school and college credits. Eligibility varies depending on the course in the school district, or all of the courses are taught by certified high school teachers, which are credentialed by the University of Connecticut. Some of those courses include ECE Biology, ECE Literature and Composition 1 and 2, and ECE Chemistry, just to name a few. Next slide, please. And here we have our advanced placement AP opportunities for students. These are college level courses that are taught by our high school teachers, allowing students to earn college credit by passing the AP exams. Some of the more popular AP courses offered by many of our high schools include computer science principles, language and compositions, and U.S. history. Next slide, please. And here is, in this slide, is the survey of the class of 2024 results. And the graph represents that over 78% of our students, our graduates, completed the graduation surveys, which points to our 55% of our graduates have plans to pursue college. Out of those students, 25% pursue a 2-year college, 41% pursue a 4-year college, 23% went into the workforce, and 3% into the military. Next slide, please. This slide is our partnerships with many of our state colleges and community colleges that provide pathways and many of the dual and concurrent enrollments to our students. We have built many strong partnerships with several of our schools in our area. And our students can take advantage of not only the courses, but they provide additional benefits such as mentoring programs, internships, and research opportunities for our students. Like always, we are committed to providing our students with the best possible opportunities to be successful by not only by earning their high school diplomas, but by earning college credits that will be beneficial as they enter either college or the workforce. And for the next slide, I'd like to bring back our Assistant Superintendent Torres. Thank you.
Thank you, Liliana. At this time, I'm going to share some of the great work happening in our high schools in regards to career development opportunities. Next slide, please. So I'd talk a little bit about our pathways. Our pathways are structured programs that combine academic learning with hands-on career experiences, ensuring students gain valuable skills for high-demand industries. Pathways provide students with access to college-level courses, work-based learning, and industry certifications or trainings. Here you can see 6 of our pathways highlighted on your screen. We have Public Service and Leadership pathway at Buckley High School, Engineering and Green Tech and Allied Health at Hartford Public High School, Applied Technology at Pathways. We have Media Tech, Insurance and Finance at Weaver, Manufacturing at both Great Path Academy and Classical Magnet. At the end of the 23-24 school year, we had over 1,000 students participate in workplace learning experiences. Workplace learning opportunities can include experiences such as job shadowing and internships. We also had over 500 students participate in a pathway at the end of our 23-24 school year. Next slide, please. this slide here, we wanted to provide a snapshot of what a typical pathway experience may be for a student in Hartford Public High School. Here, we would like to highlight engineering and the green tech pathway. So if a ninth grader were to enter the pathway, they would participate in ninth grade in the Freshman Academy. Tracy, you heard from earlier, explain a little bit about this course. It's a full year course that all freshmen participate, which is grounded in learning strategies, social skills, mindsets, and it's aimed to develop students as learners. Students in this year take some time to explore possible career pathways. As they transition to 10th grade, as you can see here, they will engage in specific coursework, for example, biology and introduction to engineering design. As they continue to move up as an 11th grader, they will continue to experience other industry type courses such as principles of engineering, chemistry, automation, and robotics, for example. And then by 12th grade, they will be experiencing introduction to computer manufacturing and technology and engineering design and development, which also includes a capstone. By the time students graduate, they will have the opportunities to receive certifications in Google, drone, manufacturing, to just name a few. There are quite a few at the bottom of our screen as well. But the idea here is that a student has a full experience when they're engaged in our pathway. Next slide, please. You'll see here in this slide, right, the design of our pathways is aligned to our current high demand industries and occupations in Connecticut. For example, you can see, right, the top 3 on your screen, healthcare, manufacture and production, and STEM, right, are all aligned to current pathways that we offer here in Hartford Public Schools, right? And that is the goal of our pathway development as we continue to expand to make sure that we are being very purposeful and in line with current demand in the industry. Next slide. So I think there was one more. Are we missing a next step slide? Can we go back one just to make sure?
Sorry, I hit something and now it's drawing. Hold on.
It's okay. Well, I can just speak to it. There is a next step slide. So while you're doing that, I'll talk through that. As we think about next steps, collaborations with our organizations such as CT Rise, Ready CT, and College Board will continue in service of our students. Additionally, we plan to continue strengthening our relationships with local universities to ensure our students have access to resources and expanded dual, concurrent, and ECE opportunities that you heard Liliana speak of earlier this evening. Equally important is our continued work with our community-based organizations and our families to support students with their post-secondary plans. Additionally, we are excited about the expansion of career pathways and work-based learning experiences for our students, which provides them with practical skills and insights into various industries as part of their high school experience. Finally, by aligning our course offerings to both academic skills and students' career interests, we will continue to set a strong foundation for student success. Now you can go to the next slide, Christina. Thank you. At this time, the full team is here so that we can answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you so much for the presentation. That was quite a bit of information, very informative. I have one thing I wanted to say with regards to the partnerships that you have with the different colleges and state community colleges is I do know that CT State Capital Community College does have a program, a partnership rather, with Morehouse College, which is an HBCU. And so that's a great way to introduce and also an affordable way to connect young people with the, with the HBCU aspect as well. So I wanted to, kind of give a plug and give some information about that for people to look into. Also, my question is with regards to the AP courses. how is, with the teacher shortage that we're already dealing with, how are we looking with regards to having teachers to teach these AP courses? Can you speak to that?
Leanna, you want to speak ahead? Yeah, Lillian, I was just going to tag you.
Sure, I think to be obviously fully transparent, it has impact some of our high schools that that offer the AP courses, but like always, we finding ways to ensure that our students have the opportunity. If it's, again, that's why it's important to have our students have the community colleges or partnership with some of our state universities to be able to offer some of the dual enrollment programs that they can take advantage as we hire more teachers and are able to provide more AP courses. I hope that answered your question.
It does to a certain degree, but I have another question with regards to that. Are students who are, say, at one particular high school able to go to attend another high school, not necessarily attend another high school, but if there's an AP course that they would like to take, could they go and take that AP course at a different high school?
No, at this point, they're not able to do that.
I will like to add, I love where you're going with this, Board Member Darcel Ledger, because it is something that our team has been really looking into, and also exploring, the possibility or the feasibility with our team to think through maybe virtual or remote opportunities for students when we need to, share staff and provide opportunities to students. So definitely on our radar to think through some solutions around that.
Okay, I'm hoping that, that we can find a way to solve this and make sure that there is, equitable access among all of the high schools, in all of our Hartford public schools, because equity is, we want the best for our students. So that's something that, we'll be looking at. Having said that, I'm going to see, I have a few hands up. I don't know which Stephen's hand was up first, but I will give the floor to Stephen Tatum for now.
Thanks. Can everybody hear me all right now?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I don't need an answer to this now, but I would, kind of going along the lines of Ms. Darcel Ledger's questions about access to those college credit opportunities. I would like to see some numbers of how many students are taking advantage of each opportunity and actually earning college credit, like in each of those subcategories of, the dual enrollment, the ECE, the AP. So if that information is readily available, I'd very much like to see it, but I don't need it now.
Absolutely, Board Member Tatum. I will have that information.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. And Board Member Wilson, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I have a couple questions, so bear with me. The partnerships with the colleges, besides the ability for us to possibly take advantage of the students to be able to take advantage of college courses, can you give me a better understanding of what those partnerships look like? Is it just the courses? Maybe I missed it in the presentation. Is there any other type of support, any other type of partnerships with particular schools that these colleges have?
Yeah, absolutely. We are, working again with the community colleges, not just for the opportunity for our students to participate with the dual enrollment or the partnership programs, but also around mentorship, mentoring, and any internship opportunities through the pathways. We are also working with our Central Connecticut State Universities to provide some mentoring programs for our middle school students, and as they transition, our 8th graders, as they transition into high school. So not only do they have the opportunity to be able to take the dual enrollment and the concurrent courses, but then we're also building relationships and providing some mentorship to our students throughout several programs.
And is that mentorship, is it in line with possibly some of the programs at the colleges, some of the degree programs where maybe the mentoringship or maybe tutoring is a part of the students at the colleges, degree program on their paths? Does it align so that we do have a lot of students or college students in that mentoring capacity? I guess the question is, have we looked into kind of aligning with maybe, just for example, University of Hartford? They have a business school at University of Hartford, and we're aligning with that, and say Weaver High School in their pathway.
Absolutely, we are. We have really focused in this year on not only that the partnership that you're talking about, but also coming back and having some of the mentorship, especially for students that are, like you said, in specific programs that can support our students and come back. So we've are also working with our students that are freshmen and sophomores at the community colleges to come back and do some work with our high school students. So those are ongoing conversations, again, with some of our state colleges like Central and some of our community colleges like Manchester, University of Hartford, and Capital.
Okay.
So absolutely. Yes.
Thank you. Could you do me a favor, and maybe possibly put something together specifically for each college that we have a partnership with, and what that partnership actually looks like? Because maybe we can do some advocating on our side to help kind of bolster with some of these colleges where it makes sense.
Absolutely.
The other question I had, if you can go back to the slides for the slide for the pathways, if possible. I don't know if Christina or who's controlling the slides, but no worries. It's specific to Weaver High School. I saw that there was an asterisk regarding their media, the media portion of the journalism and media portion of their program, and at the bottom, I believe it said that we're looking to reinvent what that actually looks like. Can we get an update on where we are with the reinventing of journalism and media pathway?
Yes, I can certainly provide an update to you. This is actually in that phase where there's a student design team that's working with the school really to reimagine. This is the year that we are working on that in collaboration with the school and Ready CT. And so, yes, there is some work that is happening that we can certainly give you more details on where we are along this particular pathway. But it is in that year of transitioning to media tech there. So yes, I can provide that for you.
And just kind of, I don't know if this is a question or a statement, because the school was sort of built around the program of journalism and media. With the new direction that we are trying to head in, what is to become of the equipment that is there, the not TV station, but the TV studio, the radio. Obviously, the radio station will stay, but there are other media rooms that are within Weaver that has equipment that was made for doing the media, the journalism and media part, the television and the radio. So I just want to make sure that the new track is encompassing the equipment that we already had, already have. I know when Weaver or journalism media moved to Tower Avenue, there was a lot of money spent on equipment and was put into that building, and that equipment was sort of out of alignment with the program. So there's a lot of equipment that did not follow over to Weaver, and we had to purchase new equipment specifically for this program. So I just want to make sure that we're not once again wasting money on technology by changing the program in a way that doesn't serve what we have there. I mean, I wanted to serve the kids, but we have equipment there, so I want to make sure that we're still able to use it.
Yes, and Board Member Wilson, if I may,
Yep.
it is not an attempt to totally neglect what was already there in terms of all of the rich resources that are in the school. It was actually a strategy to make sure that not only the title of the program attracted more students, but also to bring up to speed, so to build on what was already there and engage the students in we know that media is a huge thing now, and particularly how students may use it. And so wanting to encompass like building on what was already there, but making sure that that we used a strategy that could take it more into the tech field as well. And just to be transparent, to also position us to leverage some grant funding that could help with the sustainability edge to it as well. So it's not to totally neglect what was there in terms of the importance around journalism and media, but just to reshape it so that the children own it, and then they would be able to see themselves in it and really beef that program up.
Yeah, I'm in totally alignment with that. I'm totally agree with that. I just want to make sure we're not wasting, because there's some good equipment there as well. So to that, does this help position us better in terms of hiring someone who is going to actually teach or put a curriculum together for the program? Because I know we struggle now with trying to find certified people to come in and teach that pathway.
Yeah, so I just want to name Board Member Wilson that I'm also taking note of your, what you lifted about the equipment, because we want to be very mindful of that. So thank you for that. And to your point, we are in that redesign phase, right? Nothing has been decided yet, but that is a strategy that we are looking very carefully at in terms of, we understand, right, that there's a huge shortage area, but we want to be really intentional and make sure, to Dr. Rattley's point, that this is sustainable. So that will be a big focus as we continue the work this year before we finalize anything.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you so much, Board Member Wilson. And I do see that Board Chair Jennifer Hockenhull has her hand up.
Yes.
Ms. Hockenhull, you have the floor.
Thank you, Ms. Darcel Ledger. And thank you all for this presentation. Super helpful, very helpful to understand kind of what goes into all these programs. So thank you, thank you. My quick question for you is, seeing that only 55% of our students are headed to college, I am wondering what we are doing for those students that are likely trying to go right from high school to work. Are we doing something different for those students to make sure that they feel supported and ready to go into the workforce? Just wondering what we're doing around those folks.
Yes, absolutely. There's conversations with our principals and our school counselors to ensure that we are, that's why it's important to build relationship with our students, to ensure that we know what pathways, what they're interested in, to support some of the, either if they decide to go into the workforce, through our pathways also, and many, as we were saying, many of the dual enrollment and concurrent. So if they're interested in certificate programs, to ensure that they know all of the options that they have, in case, again, if they're not seeking the 2-year or 4-year college. So there's definitely ongoing work with, again, our school counselors, our administrators, to ensure that our students are exposed to all the opportunities and interest that they may have beyond the 2-year, the 4-year, or military.
I'll also add that we're taking a very intentional effort in these pathways to align them with industry where there is high need, but then also really work to give students an opportunity to have tangible options following their high school career with us. And so we're working endlessly to ensure that as we line up partners and so forth, that for those who want to go directly into the workforce, that they're getting some of that experience, or at least exploring those areas that they have interest in, so that those pathways really give them tangible opportunities, whether it be in summer, whether it be through an internship or whatever that is, in order to line them up so that when they leave, they've had some taste of what that work field may be like. We also are thinking very heavily about infusing those skills that are transferable across any career. And so how we can, especially as we embark upon making plans for next year, how we can begin to roll those skill sets into some of the curricula or the opportunities and experiences that students have that we know will help them to be successful, soft skills, for lack of a better term, to help them be successful whatever they choose to do when they leave us.
Thank you so much for that. I have a question with regards to one of those transferable skills. Are there financial literacy class, or is there some type of financial literacy class that's going to be provided or instruction for these students, so that whatever they choose, whatever route they choose to go, they will be able to manage their finances in a healthy way?
Tracy, I want to give you an opportunity to speak. I know you haven't talked.
No. You guys have covered it all. Yes, thank you for that question. Actually, currently our freshmen those are our class of 2027. And so our freshmen are currently using these graduation requirements in terms of the financial literacy course. So all of our freshmen right now have a half a credit in civics, and then they have the other half of the year is in economics 1, which is that financial literacy. And so that's already starting. The state also recognized the same gap area that you have. And so that's coming down the pike for all of our kids, because it's definitely a need and a life skill that is necessary no matter what aspect of life they go into after high school. So yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Let me just take a look. I don't see any more hands up. And I believe that is it. So thank you so much for the presentation, and everyone have a great holiday, have a safe holiday, and time off for those who are taking time off. And this meeting is adjourned. Have a great evening, everyone.